ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपतिकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगरगणान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, quickly in one sentence, can you all tell me what all you got from the third chapter of Bhagavad-gītā? What all could you remember? Let's start with you, Giriraj Prabhu, then Chaitanya Prabhu. What is the name of the third chapter? Who can tell me?
Chaitanya Prabhu.
Yeah, what is the name of the third chapter? Perfect. And what did you get from that?
Basically, we are not to renounce anything prematurely because we can't stay idle. So it's better to do our duty perfectly than being idle.
Perfect. Very nice. Okay, Chaitanya Prabhu, what is the meaning of Karma Yoga in one sentence?
Yes, Prabhuji. Karma Yoga means that, so we, first of all, we offer everything to Krishna before we do that activity.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do that for our satisfaction is karma kand, and if we do that for Krishna's satisfaction, it's karma yoga.
Perfect. Thank you. So it's very simple. Karma means action and yoga means to link oneself to Krishna. So when we link everything that we do to Krishna, that becomes karma yoga. Before that, it is karma kand. Okay? So that is the difference. Perfect. Who else? Vedas Prabhu, what could you understand from the third chapter?
Prabhu,
any answer?
In addition to this, offering food as prasad.
Yes, very nice. Perfect. So 3.13, Krishna says that offer everything to me. Very nice. Who else? What could you get from the third chapter? Anything practical or you understood? Rishikesh Prabhu, anyone else?
Prabhuji, shall I say?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji. And then Rishikesh Prabhu, after you.
So, we should be doing our karma by offering everything to Lord. And in the Kalyug, in Kalyug we can, like in the other yugas, what everyone was doing to reach God. And in this yuga, it is very easy with the sang, with the sadhu sang, with the Namucharan.
Perfect. Nice. Okay, Rishikesh Prabhu, question for you. So tell me, even if we don't want to commit sins, why is it that we commit sins?
From the third chapter. We are actually, we give Maya Devi the control over us.
Yes, that is one answer, but the exact answer. So this is the exact question that Arjun asks in verses 35, 36, and then Krishna answers in 37 verse. So, okay, other than you, yeah, you are correct, but partially. Who can tell me that even though we don't want to commit sins, but still, why do we commit sins? I can't see any hands up because I have shared my screen. Yes, Giriraj Prabhu, do you see hands?
Yes,
if not, then you can. Yes, Chaitanya Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, because everyone is in the control of three modes of nature.
Mm-hmm.
So they are according to the three modes. So that's why.
It means you don't remember the verse. Yes, Giriraj Prabhu, what is the verse and what is the answer?
Yeah. Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samadhava Mahasano Mahapapam Vidyena Mehaveranam.
Perfect. It's lust. Okay? So it's desire. Arjun asked a question that I know everything. I know that this is sin. I don't want to do that sin. But still, why? What drives me to do that sinful act even after knowing everything? So Krishna replies 3.37. Remember this verse, everyone. Very important. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhava, mahashano mahapapma vidyenmi varanam. It is lust. It is desire. Just because of desires only, despite knowing everything, we commit sins. Okay? So that is very important. And at the end, then Krishna says that this is the greatest enemy. Okay? So that was the third chapter, Karma Yoga. Very simple definition. Karma means action. Whatever we do, that is karma. No one can live without doing karma for even a moment. If you say you are not doing anything, you are at least breathing. So that is also a karma. So we cannot refrain from doing anything. We have to do karma by hook or by crook. Now anything that we do that does not concern Krishna will give us bad or good reactions. Sakarma and vikarma. Sakarma means you do good for others, you get good action, you get good reaction. If you do bad, you get bad reactions. But if you link Krishna and do everything for Krishna, that becomes from karma card, you jump a ladder to karma yoga. Okay? And now what happens is you are neither doing sakarma, good action, neither doing bad karma, vikarma. You are doing akarma. That is bhakti. Now you will neither get good result or bad result. Because the whole game of this life is that we have to cut and clean the slate of our karmas. When the karmas become zero, then we go back to Godhead. So even if we do good karma, we are getting, that slate is not getting cleaned up. We are just increasing our number of good karmas, but we have to decrease everything and come to zero, neither positive, neither negative. Okay? So this is the meaning of karma yoga. Now all of a sudden, the direction shifts. So let's see very quickly what happens in the very last verses. Okay? So in the last verse, 43rd, Krishna says that thus knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjun, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual indulgence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So, Arjun had asked the question. Arjun said in the 36th verse, O descendant of Vrishni, Krishna, by what is one impelled to sinful acts even unwillingly as if engaged by force? So God says it is lust only, Arjun, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Asterisk mark this verse, okay, 37. And then he goes on explaining about this lust and how brutal enemy it is. And then finally he says that you have to be transcendental, and then only you can defeat this eternal enemy called lust. Now, the fourth chapter begins, and the name of the chapter is Transcendental Knowledge. Because only by transcending the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, will we be able to defeat our eternal enemy, that is lust. Now let's see this beautiful chapter, 4.1. Chaitanya Prabhu, please recite this. Is Chaitanya Prabhu there?
Imam vivishvate yogam praktavanahamavyayam vivasvan manave praha manor ikshvakave praveet. Translation: The personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku.
Thank you, Prabhu. Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Herein we find the history of the Bhagavad-gītā traced from a remote time when it was delivered to the royal order of all planets, beginning from the sun planet. The kings of all planets are especially meant for the protection of the inhabitants, and therefore the royal order should understand the science of Bhagavad-gītā in order to be able to rule the citizens and protect them from material bondage to lust. Human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge in eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the executive heads of all states and all planets are obliged to impart this lesson to the citizens by education, culture, and devotion. In other words, the executive heads of all states are intended to spread the science of Krishna consciousness so that the people may take advantage of this great science and pursue a successful path utilizing the opportunity of the human form of life. In this millennium, the sun god is known as Vaivasvat, the king of the sun, which is the origin of all planets within the solar system. In the Brahma Samhita 5.52 it is stated, यच्चक्षुरेश सविता सकल ग्रहाणाम् राजा समस्त सुरमूर्ति रशेष तेजा यस्याज्ञ भ्रमति संभ्रम काल चक्रो गोविंदमादि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Let me worship, Lord Brahma said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govind, Krishna, who is the original person and under whose order the sun, which is the king of all planets, is assuming immense power and heat. The sun represents the eye of the Lord and traverses its orbit in obedience to his order. The sun is the king of the planets, and the sun god, at present of the name Vaivasvat, rules the sun planet, which is controlling all other planets by supplying heat and light. He is rotating under the order of Krishna, and Lord Krishna originally made Vaivasvat his first disciple to understand the science of Bhagavad-gītā. The Gita is not therefore a speculative treatise for the insignificant mundane scholar, but is a standard book of knowledge coming down from time immemorial. In the Mahabharata Shanti Parva, we can trace out the history of the Gita as follows. In the beginning of the millennium known as Treta Yuga, the science of the relationship with the Supreme was delivered by Vaivasvat to Manu. Manu, being the father of mankind, gave it to his son Maharaj Ikshvaku, the king of this earth, planet and forefather of the Raghu dynasty, in which Lord Ramchandra appeared. Therefore, Bhagavad-gītā existed in human society from the time of Maharaj Ikshvaku. Okay, so let's try to understand this. That the first thing is, this knowledge is not the first time being spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. So Krishna is saying that I spoke this very science, this philosophy. Now he will give us the time after in the next paragraph. 12 crores. That is 120 million years back. To whom? To Vaivasvat, sun god. So sun is a planet, like earth is a planet, and there is a king of earth, and every country there is a prime minister. So similarly, in the sun planet, the king's name is Vaivasvat, and he is a person. And it is said in the Shastras that whoever becomes sun, it is guaranteed that the end of their life, they will go back to Vaikuntha, Godhead. So this is a guarantee. Now I remember Giriraj Prabhu had asked me this question, that what is the duration? I still don't have an answer to that. That what is the duration of sun's life? I don't know, but if I come across maybe in the Vedic cosmology, then we will get to know once we study together. Then we will get to know what is his lifetime. For instance, we are going to discuss the life of Brahma now, his calculation. But I don't know the calculation of sun, but this is guaranteed, confirmed, that whoever becomes sun, that is their last life, and in the next life they will go back to Krishna. Okay, that is the first thing. Second, that this science is not just coming from itself. This science has actually come down in a disciplic chain of succession. For instance, let us see here. So actually, this lecture, this so long, I will tell you the very interesting story. So once Prabhupada was in, I think he was in the Western world, or maybe it's before that, and he was supposed to give a lecture, and nobody came in the lecture. Absolutely no one. But Prabhupada was not dejected. He still continued the lecture. He recorded his lecture in a tape, and he wrote this. So whatever the introduction we see of Bhagavad-gītā, this is a lecture given by Prabhupada where there was no audience. And now millions of people across the world is reading this. Okay, so anyway, the point is that here, so the knowledge that we are getting today, this is not that someone said something and then we are just blindly following them. No. This knowledge was spoken by Krishna to prominently 4 people. Who are those 4 people? Brahma ji, Lord Shiv, Lakshmi ji, and the 4 Kumaras called Sanat Kumaras. So Lord Krishna gave the knowledge of Bhagavad-gītā and all the transcendental knowledge to these 4 personalities in the very beginning. And then these 4 personalities started giving this knowledge to their next generation, to their successors. And that is how the 4 sampradayas came. From Lord Brahma comes Brahma Sampradaya. We are taking knowledge as part of Brahma Sampradaya today. Then from Lord Shiv comes Rudra Sampradaya. From Sanat Kumar comes Kumar Sampradaya. And from Lakshmi ji comes Ramanuj Sampradaya or Shri Sampradaya. So we see Lord Balaji, that is a part of Shri Sampradaya. Okay, so these are the 4 initial people in which this knowledge was imparted, and then they started their own parampara. They taught to their shishya, their family, and that succession came on down to us. So Lord Krishna gives the knowledge to Brahmaji. Brahma gives to his son Narad Muni. Narad Muni gives to his disciple Vyasdev. Vyasdev gives it to Madhva. Then Padmanabh, Narhari, this is Madhav, another person. Then Akshobhya. And then it follows down to Madhavendra Puri, who gives to Ishwar Puri, who gives to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Krishna again comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he gets the knowledge of Bhagavad-gītā from his spiritual master Ishwar Puri. Then he gives the knowledge to the Shad Goswamis, Rup Sanatan, Raghunath Jeev Goswami. Then it comes down to Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gaur Kishori Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, from them to Prabhupada, and from Prabhupada to us, our Guru Maharaj, and then from them to us, right? So this is the disciplic succession. Now this is very important to know. Why? Because let's say someone goes to get their daughter married, okay? And you are going to meet the groom's family for the first time. Now you will not let your daughter marry just anyone, or your sister or your friend. You will have their background checked, isn't it? For instance, you get to know that the father, he is serving in the jail, the mother is a terrorist, and the grandfather is robbing a bank at this moment. So will you marry your sister, your daughter, or your friend to that family? You will not marry, right? Because you do background verification, you check that what is the value, what is the culture, what is the parampara in which that family comes, isn't it? So similarly, why don't we check these things when we have to take spiritual knowledge? We just go anywhere and everywhere, and someone is pretending to be someone, and then we just sit at their feet and then start taking knowledge, and they also go to hell, and because of them we also go to hell, right? So that is why it is very important when we have to buy anything, for instance a car, a phone, a refrigerator, we do so much of testing and checking, comparison, different deals, different shops. But when it comes to taking knowledge, we don't do any research. And that is why we are not happy. Because we have to take knowledge only from persons who are coming in this parampara. And let me warn you that there are many people today, big speakers, who are not in the parampara, and they will not get you anywhere. So I'm sorry to say, if you listen to them, I will not take any names. But if they are not coming in parampara, no matter however sweet they say, or if they make logic or sense, it does not matter at all. If you had to get your children into a school, you will check if the school is affiliated by the government or not. For instance, tomorrow I say that I am opening a school, and come, why would you send your kids to my school if I'm not affiliated? Because what happens is, after 12 years of hard work, the paper I'm going to give the child will not be as per the government's policy, right? So it will not be, there won't be a stamp by the government. So he has wasted his 12 years. Your child's 12 years are wasted. So similarly, we should not waste our time going everywhere and wandering, and if we see some podcast is going on and someone makes sense, no, that is not how we take knowledge. Always see which parampara are they following. is their knowledge as per Guru, Sadhu and Shastra? If no, immediately leave and look for people who are coming under that Guru Shishya Parampara. Okay? So Krishna clarifies here that this knowledge was given by him to Vaivasvat. And then it came down as well. So firstly he gave the knowledge to Lord Brahma. From that it flows down to Vaivasvat. And then after that it was broken. This science was broken. He is going to tell again in the second verse. And then after that he is re-establishing everything. Now, let's see here the final paragraph. At the present moment we have just passed through 5,000 years of Kalyug, which lasts 432,000 years. In Indian calculation, this is 4.32 lakh, 4,32,000 years. Before this, there was Dwapar Yug, that was just the double of 432, that is 864,000 years. Before that, there was Treta Yug, triple of 432, that is 1.296 million, 12,96,000 years. And then before that, there was Satyug, that was 4 times 17.28. So 1.728 million years. Right? And by this calculation, Krishna is saying that some unit 10, 100,000, 10,000 lakh, 10 lakh, almost 2 million years ago, Manu spoke the Bhagavad-gītā to his disciple and son, Maharaj Ikshvaku, the king of this planet Earth. The age of the current Manu is calculated to last some this many years, of which this many years have passed. Accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple, the sun god Vaivasvat. A rough estimate is that the Gita was spoken at least 120 million years ago. Okay, so that is 12 crore years. And in human society, it has been extant for 2 million years. It was re-spoken by the Lord again to Arjuna about 5,000 years ago. That is the rough estimate of the history of the Gita, according to the Gita itself and according to the version of the speaker Lord Shri Krishna. It was spoken to the sun god Vaivasvat because he is also a Kshatriya and is the father of all Kshatriyas who are descendants of the sun god or the Surya Vansh Kshatriyas. Because Bhagavad-gītā is as good as the Vedas being spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this knowledge is apurusheya, superhuman. Since the Vedic instructions are accepted as they are, without human interpretation, the Gita must therefore be accepted without mundane interpretation. The mundane wranglers may speculate on the Gita in their own ways, but that is not Bhagavad-gītā as it is. Therefore, Bhagavad-gītā has to be accepted as it is from the disciplic succession, and it is described herein that the Lord spoke to the sun god spoke to his son Manu, and Manu spoke to his son Ikshvaku. So once in the beginning stages of ISKCON, they got to know that there is a scholar of Bhagavad-gītā in Germany, and he has done his PhD in Bhagavad-gītā. So the devotees were very curious to know who this person is, and they wanted to meet. So they set up an appointment, and then they flew from India to meet this German person. And he was a professor in the university. And when they enter his chamber, they see that a Bhagavad-gītā is kept on the table, and that person has a cigarette in his hand and he's smoking. And that person has done PhD in Bhagavad-gītā. So this is the reality, that people don't understand where to take the knowledge. Even on YouTube today, you will see that the speakers, so-called speakers, they are drinking alcohol, they are doing all illicit nonsense, and then they are becoming Dharma Guru. They pose themselves as Acharya, or that they are the real custodians of our Vedic Shastra. And then there are furthermore than them, they are very world famous. They travel all across the world and they say, I have never read Bhagavad-gītā or Ramayana. I don't read any Veda or Shastra. I don't believe, because everything like Lord Brahma, Hridaya, Divya Hridaya Prakashito. So for them also, according to them, that they got all the knowledge in their heart. So they don't need these scriptures like Bhagavad-gītā and Ramayana. And the foolish audience, they actually believe and fall prey for such people. And the end is not going to be good. So we have to be extremely careful who we follow when it comes to this spiritual world, because This human life is very, very, very precious, extremely precious. We have no idea. Day before yesterday, I got a call from my friend. In ISKCON Pune, there was a person who came. He was a new person. He used to come for Sunday feasts. He comes to the temple on 22nd. What is the date today? I don't know. Whatever the date was, this passing Sunday. He comes and he was eating prasad and maybe a grain stuck in his food pipe. There was a congestion. He started gasping for breath. He could not breathe. The devotees tried to help him. They rushed him to the hospital in ambulance, and while he was on his way, he died, quit his body. So this is our life actually. There is no guarantee, I keep telling that there is no guarantee that after this call I am going to survive. I can die at any moment, and there could be n number of reasons for my death. So this human life is very precious. We have come so far, we are trying, we are curious, so do it right. Compare, see, study, understand from various people, disciples, that what is the correct way of getting this knowledge. Okay? Now, let's come to the calculation part, because this is interesting and this will answer most of our questions. So Kalyug lasts for 432,000 years. Almost 5,500 years have passed away. So this is all a rumor. When people say that Kalyug is going to end in few years and then Satyug is going to start, no, that is not the case. Kalyug is going to last for another 426,000 years, or 426,000 years. Okay. Then we have Dwapar Yug, double the number, 864,000. Then Treta, and then Satyug. If we combine these four, it comes around 4.32 million years. Okay, for 43,20,000 years in Indian calculation, and in Western calculation 4.32 million years. In 4.32 million years, all the four yugas, the four ages, what are those? Kalyug, Dwapar Yug, Treta Yug and Satyug. These four ages are clubbed together. So anyone who does not know much about this, I will just quickly say that we are in Kalyug now. Before this, the age was called Dwapar Yug, in which Lord Krishna comes. Before that was Treta Yug, in which Lord Ram comes. And before that is the Satyug, where we have Narsimha Dev, Kurma Avatar, Vaman Avatar. So all these incarnation of Lord comes in that age. Okay, so these are the four ages. So this is circular. It goes on and on. I will explain how. Now these four ages clubbed together is called one Chatur Yug. Chatur means four. Chatur Yug or a Divya Yug. Okay. When we multiply this one Divya Yug, 4.32 million years, if we multiply it by 71, that is one manvantar. Meaning, Lord Brahma has designated 14 sons to rule this world. So the calculation 4.32 million into 71, that calculation, that duration is called one manvantar. So one son of Brahma, for let's say the first son was Manu. So Manu ruled the world for 4.32 million into 71, that duration. Then after that what happens is Manu retires as a king, and then the next Manu, let's say his name was Ikshvaku, he becomes the next Manu and he rules for next 4.32 into 71. So that is called the second Manvantar. Then comes the third son, third Manvantar. And when the 14 sons have ruled, that duration is around 4.32 billion years. And that 4.32 billion years is 12 hours of Lord Brahma. Okay. I wish there was a whiteboard. I had explained this in our Saturday Peace program. But still, again, I will repeat. To make it simpler, one Chatur Yug or one Divya Yug is 4.32 million years. Multiply that by 1000. So that becomes 4.32 billion years. And this 4.32 billion years is 12 hours of Lord Brahma. and 12 hours is equal to 1 day. And then Lord Brahma has equal length of night, that is 12 hours, 4.32 billion years. So 8.64 billion years is 24 hours of Lord Brahma. Okay. Now, Lord Brahma lives for 100 years. So that is roughly 311 trillion years as per our human earthly calculation. Okay. Now this becomes more and more complex, so I won't go. When we are studying the third canto and the fifth canto, we will discuss this in more detail. But just understand that as we go higher, the duration becomes smaller. For instance, 6 months on this planet Earth equals to 12 hours in Swargalok, in heaven. And 6 months Dakshinayan is the night of Swargalok. Okay, so 1 year, our 1 year is equal to 1 day, 24 hours of Swarg or heavenly planets. Now coming to the doubts part. In each manvantar, okay, the 71 I did the calculation. In each manvantar there are various avatars that Lord Krishna takes. For instance, he comes as Ram in Treta Yuga. He comes as Krishna. But now when the Yuga changes, after Kalyug comes Satyug. Then again Treta, so Lord Ram again comes. Then again Dwapar comes, so Lord Krishna again comes. And then again Kalyug comes. So different, Kalki avatar again comes, right? So this is going on and on and on in circle. This is called Maya Jal, okay? And this Mahabharat and Ramayana and Chaitanya Charitam, Chaitanya Leela has not happened only once. It has happened again and again and again, and as we speak at this moment, somewhere there is a Treta Yuga and Lord Ram is doing his Leela. Somewhere there is a Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna is doing his Leela, and it's not just one Dwapar Yuga. It is millions of Dwapar Yuga simultaneously going on, millions of Kalyugs simultaneously going on, and millions of different Yugas going on. Okay? And that is why sometimes you will hear that the Mahabharata version says that something happened and the Bhagavatam version says something happened. And then in Ramcharitmanas there is a mention of Shabri, and in Valmiki Ramayana there is no mention of Shabri. For instance, I will tell you a very beautiful story, and I am sure you wouldn't have heard it before. Once Lord Hanuman was serving Lord Ramchandra. And he is completely surrendered to Lord Ram, we know. And he was serving and serving and serving. He did not do anything other than serving. Now Lord Ramchandra wanted Hanumanji to hear Katha, Hari Katha, Bhagavatam or Ramayana. So he said to Hanumanji that why don't you hear Katha? Because what happens is, if we just do Seva and we do not hear Katha, then we will do offenses. This is what Ramchandra explained to Hanumanji, that if you don't hear Katha, there will be offenses in your Seva. So please hear Katha. So Hanumanji said, but my Lord, you are in front of me. I am doing your direct Seva. Why do I have to hear about you when I am directly in contact with you and I am hearing about you? And I'm sorry, I am doing your service. So Ramji said, okay, fine. I am sitting on the throne now. There is no seva for you. There is no seva for anyone. I have some leisure time. So give me a break. This is my order to you. You go, and at this place, Kagbhushundi ji is a crow who has also written a form of Ramayana, Kagbhushundi Ramayana. And he eternally speaks this Ramayana. So that is another pastime when he comes with Lord Shiva, and then he sees Lord Shiva goes back to Kailash, but he remains and he sees everything, all the episodes of Lord Ramchandra's pastimes, and then he composes his own Ramayana. So he was speaking Ramayana. So Ramji says to Hanumanji, please go and hear Ramayana from him. So then Hanumanji goes. He did not want to, but he leaves and he goes to hear Ram Katha. And coincidentally, that time, Kagbhushundi, he was telling the Katha when Lord Hanuman was about to jump over the Indian Ocean to go and find Mother Sita. But interestingly, Kagbhushundi Kagbhushundi ji, he says something that Hanumanji had never heard before. He said that when everyone was tired and they did not know who should reach Lanka, then all of a sudden, Jambavant, he tells to Hanumanji and he makes him remember that you are actually capable of crossing Lanka and coming back. And when Hanumanji remembers, then he starts expanding himself, and he expands himself so much that he touches the sky, and with one leg he crosses over the Indian Ocean, and he puts his leg over Lanka. And when he sees that there are demons in the Lanka, and he sees how Mother Sita has been stressed and traumatized, he just blows air. And because he becomes angry, the air carries fire and the whole Lanka is burned. And then he keeps his foot back to this side of India. And Hanumanji is scratching his head. Did this happen? I don't remember this. I actually went on a hill. I jumped and it took me time to cross, and then they put my tail on fire and then I burned the Lanka. What is this version? I don't believe in this version. So then he comes back to Ramji after hearing this katha. He comes back to Ramji. So Ramji asks, so what did you hear? And he says, I heard this katha, but I don't believe in this katha. This is not the true version. I don't think he's telling the true story because I was there. So Ramji then does another leela. So he has a ring. Ramji had a ring in his hand, in his fingers. So all of a sudden he started playing with that ring, and that ring falls from his hand to the ground. And then the ring starts falling down the stairs. So Hanumanji tries to catch that ring. And Ramji says, yes, please fetch the ring for me and get it back. And the ring won't stop. It keeps on rolling and it leaves the kingdom. It leaves the Ayodhya Puri Dham and it goes all the way to different part of the universes. And Hanumanji is shocked that a small ring is making him work so hard, and he goes from places to places, and ultimately he comes inside a cave. So the ring enters inside a cave, and he enters inside the cave. So there is a very big monkey who stops him and he says, who are you? So he says, I am Ramdut, I am Hanuman. So he starts laughing. The monkey, he starts laughing. He says, you are Hanuman? It's not possible. How can you be Hanuman? If you are Hanuman, why are you just running after a ring? You can't catch a ring and you claim that you are Ramdut Hanuman? No, the real Hanumanji is actually sitting inside the cave. So this Hanumanji says, how is it possible? I am Hanuman and I am actually real Hanuman. How can you say there is another Hanuman? So then the guard, that monkey, goes inside and says to another Hanuman that someone has come who claims to be Hanuman. So then this Hanumanji was sitting inside the cave. He smiles and he says, yes, he is actually Hanumanji. Call him inside. And then this Hanumanji meets this Hanumanji and he is completely shocked. How is this possible? There is another Hanumanji. And then this Hanumanji was really huge and big. And he was chanting Ram Naam in such a bhav that tears were coming out, and this whole atmosphere was so peaceful that Hanumanji, who was fetching the ring, he was in tears and he said, I've never had this bhav for my Ram. So in reality, I think you are the real Hanuman. I don't know anymore who I am. And then the Hanumanji was chanting with bhav. He said that actually, you know what you heard from Kagbhushundi ji is not false. The Leela that he was saying was my Leela. I was Hanuman. So right now you are in the 27th manvantar of the 6th kalp. But the story that he was telling was from a different time zone, a different time frame. And in that time, in Ramayana, I did not jump over Lanka. I just put my foot and crossed the Indian Ocean. And I blew complete Lanka with my one breath, with my blow of air. And then this Hanumanji got to know that, oh, this is the reality. And then he saw that, he said, where is that ring? So the old Hanumanji, he said, let's go to a pond. And then in the pond, he saw that there were many such rings. And then he said that this particular is your ring, you take it back. So he said, but what about the other rings? They all look similar. He said, yes. They all belong to Lord Ram. And every time a Hanumanji has a doubt in this pastime of mine, where I cross just using one leg to Lanka, Ramji does the same Leela of his ring, and he sends the ring to this place, and the Hanumanji comes, and then he gets to know that what is the reality. And when that Hanumanji takes the ring back, the ring replicates. So the original ring goes back to Lord Ram with that Hanumanji, but that ring replicates itself, and that is how I come to know how many Hanumanji so far were under illusion. So this is the story, that there are, I want to take one complete session on Hanuman Chalisa as well. In that you will find similar fascinating stories never heard before. When Hanumanji steps on the Kal Chakra, he goes to a different time frame. He fights a different set of enemy, comes back to this time frame, and then crosses another time frame. And you will forget Inception and all the stories when you hear these pastimes, actually unearthed pastimes from our scriptures. But the point is that the same story of Ramayana and Mahabharata with a slight different version is going on every time. That is why it is said, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Hari, Lord Krishna, is unlimited, and so are his pastimes. Don't think that only once it happened that Parikshit Maharaj was supposed to be bitten, and in 7 days he heard complete Bhagavatam, or Lord Ram went to exile for 14 years. No, this is not just once. This has happened unlimited times. Valmiki Ramayana has 24,000 verses. There is a Ramayana written by Lord Shiva that has 100 crore verses, 10 million verses. Ramayana written by him. Lord Hanuman has his own version of Ramayana written. Kagbhushundaji has his own version of Ramayana written. And these are just the Ramayana we know. There is Kamba Ramayana. There are so many versions of Ramayana. And all true, because all have happened in a different time frame. The base storyline is the same. That to kill Ravan, he appears. Or to kill Kans, Lord Krishna appears. That wouldn't change. But the minute details may change. For instance, Shabri comes in this version and not in another version. In one version, Parikshit Maharaj, he goes inside the water and guards himself so that Dakshak cannot come and bite him. And in the version we are reading, Bhagavatam, he goes and surrenders to Sukhdev Goswami and hears Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? So when you hear these differences, slight differences, always know that this is called kalpa bhed. Kalpa meaning that 1 day of Brahma, 12 hours, that calculation of 4.32 billion years, that is called one kalp. And there have been so many kalpas so far, because our Brahmaji, just our Brahmaji is 51 year old. And there are millions of Brahmajis. And there are millions of days they have passed through. So these stories have gone on again and again and again and again. And on top of this, understand that still this is all part of material world. We are not speaking about spiritual world yet. This is only the stories of this material world. So just imagine, and the story and the material world is only 25% of the spiritual world. So now it's beyond our thinking capacity. The pastimes that would actually be going on in the spiritual realm. There are few scriptures I wouldn't name because you will be curious and you will jump to them. We will do those later, but they tell us about the pastimes that goes on in the spiritual abodes. Right? So this this is the greatness of these scriptures, the stories that we come across actually. This is not easy, but still at the same time, if someone is curious to know all these things, so definitely by the mercy of Guru, by mercy of Prabhupada, and by mercy of Krishna, we will be able to grasp all these things. So just imagine if Hanumanji could be bewildered, Lord Brahma was bewildered many times. We all know the Brahma Vimohan Leela from Krishna's pastime. He was also bewildered. And in the Dwarka Leela, even Lord Brahma saw that there are millions of Brahmas actually. He thought he's the only Brahma. He goes to meet Krishna once, and the gatekeeper stops him. He says, "Who are you? Don't you know I am Brahma?" "Which Brahma?" So he's shocked. "What do you mean, which Brahma? Am I not the only Brahma?" He says, "No, of course you are not the only Brahma. You are only 4-headed Brahmas. I have seen million-headed Brahmas." The gatekeeper says, "I have seen million-headed Brahmas. Go inside and see." And then when he goes inside, he sees that there are infinite Brahmas. Someone with 10 heads, someone with 100, with 1,000, with million heads. And then he goes on to understand that how minute, how insignificant. If Brahma is so insignificant, what to say about us, right? So these pastimes are never ending, unlimited. Okay, so let's take, I think this is also a very, okay, this is not a big purpose, so let's do this and then we are going to stop. Okay, who is going to recite this verse? Again, very important verse. Did I lose you? Okay, yeah, thank you. I thought no one would hear me.
Yeah. Evam parampara praptamiyam rajarasyo vidu sakale kalineha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. Translation: the supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Thank you. So it is clearly stated that the Gita was especially meant for the saintly kings because they were to execute its purpose in ruling over the citizens. Certainly, Bhagavad-gītā was never meant for the demoniac persons who would dissipate its value for no one's benefit and would devise all types of interpretations according to two personal whims. For instance, when Hiranyaksha was killed by Varahadev, so Lord took an incarnation as a boar, and then he kills Hiranyaksha. And the wife, the mother of Hiranyaksha, and all the relatives, they were crying. They could not believe that someone is capable of killing Hiranyaksha because he was really powerful, this Hiranyaksha. There was a kundal of Hiranyaksha. Kundal means earring. And that earring had fallen when Varahadev had slapped him. And with one slap, he died actually. So his earring fell to the ground. And when the yug changed, Ravan, he actually goes and he sees, what is this mountain? So then he's told that this is not a mountain, this is the earring of Hiranyaksha. And Ravan tried with his 20 hands to just pick it a bit, that earring. And he is not able to move that earring, just imagine the power of Hiranyaksha. His earring was not able to, Ravan was not able to move that. That was the power. And then the wife, the mother, the relatives, they were in disbelief. How can someone kill him? And that time Hiranyakashipu, he comes and he gives the knowledge of Bhagavad-gītā. That you are not this body, you are soul. He is not like we change clothes, the soul changes body, so he is not dead, he is somewhere else, etc., etc. So a demon is giving the knowledge of Bhagavad-gītā, but he did not practice it himself, that knowledge. And that is how we know a devotee. So a devotee will always practice what they speak, whereas a non-devotee, a demon, will not. Even Ravan was a great scholar. He was a pandit, very learned, intellectual. But his actions were not in accordance to his words, his knowledge. His actions were raping, kidnapping, killing, murdering. This was his action. And at the same time, he was a learned scholar of scriptures. So this don't go hand in hand. And that is how we get to know who is a devotee and whom should we follow actually. Action is very important. 3.21, Krishna says, Yat yat acharati sreshta. That the great men should walk their talk and everyone would follow them. That is the real way of understanding. So moving ahead, as soon as the original purpose was scattered by the motives of the unscrupulous commentators, there arose the need to re-establish the disciplic succession. 5,000 years ago, it was detected by the Lord himself that the disciplic succession was broken, and therefore he declared that the purpose of the Gita appeared to be lost. In the same way, at the present moment, also there are so many editions of the Gita, especially in English, but almost all of them are not according to authorized disciplic succession. There are innumerable interpretations rendered by different mundane scholars, but almost all of them do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, although they make a good business on the words of Sri Krishna. This spirit is demoniac, because demons do not believe in God, but simply enjoy the property of the Supreme. Since there is a great need of an edition of the Gita in English, as it is received by the Parampara disciplic succession system, an attempt is made herewith to fulfill this great want. Bhagavad-gītā accepted as it is a great boon to humanity, but if it is accepted as a treatise of philosophical speculation, it is simply a waste of time. So this verse, Evam Parampara Praptim, has been spoken by Krishna. Then the translation is as it is given by Krishna, so that cannot be changed. This purport is where we get to know what parampara. For instance, the Shri Sampradaya would have their version of Bhagavad-gītā, Kumar Sampradaya their version, Rudra Sampradaya their version, and all are authentic because they are getting the purports by reading their and understanding from their seniors, their acharyas, their Guru Maharaj and their Grand Guru Maharaj, right? And this is how we come to know what is authentic and what is not authentic, right? In the introduction, actually, Prabhupada has said this many times, that how he understood the Tika, the purport of Baldev Vidya Bhushan and all the other acharyas. He has read all those purports, and like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And after reading those purports, he has compiled these purports. So it is not that Prabhupada was sitting under a tree and something came to his mind and he started writing. No. He first read all the purports given by all the acharyas, his gurus in the disciplic succession, and after that, referencing all the Ved and Puranas. For instance, you will see that this has been taken from Bhagavatam, this has been taken from Brahma Samhita, this has been taken from Shvetashvatar Upanishad. So he has quoted down every single thing. That means that he is not speaking anything from his own mind. Everything is coming from the Guru Shishya Parampara, and that is why it is as it is, Yatharup Bhagavad-gītā. And this is very important, okay? So with that, I will stop here and open the floor for question and answer. Okay, I see Abhay Prabhu's hand up. Yes, Prabhuji. Or did you want to recite the verse? I don't know.
Sorry, no. Prabhu, my question is, you were saying that it's a cycle, that it keeps repeating itself.
Yeah.
Do we know what cycle are we on? Is there a number?
Yeah, there is. And I've told this before. Who wants to answer this question? Because I've told this many times.
I think 38 or something, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's not 38. No. Chaitanya Prabhu, where are we now? Is it Chaitanya Prabhu? Yes, Suman Mataji, yeah.
We are in Kalyug and just 5,500 years have passed.
No. He is not asking that. Which manvantar, which kalp, which year of Brahma? That he is asking. This everyone knows, 5,000 years of Kalyug. Where is Chaitanya Prabhu? Can you hear? No. Okay. Giriraj Prabhu, do you know the answer?
Yes, Prabhu. Brahmaji is in his 51st year it is of Brahma.
Perfect. Yes.
And I think it's 6th manvantar, right?
No.
7.
No. It's kalp. First go with kalp.
Okay. Kalp is 27, right?
No, manvantar is 27, Prabhu.
Yeah, manvantar is 27.
Yeah.
And kalp.
So okay. 51st year is going on. 6th kalp. 27th manvantar's Kalyug is going on. Okay. So this is the current calculation, Prabhuji.
Sure.
And Lord Krishna only appears in this particular manvantar. After this, in the next manvantar, Krishna, the original Krishna will not appear. He will send his incarnation like Narayan or Vishnu or someone else, but not original Krishna. For instance, in this Treta Yuga, Lord Ram did not appear himself. He sent an incarnation. Lord Ram appeared in the 24th manvantar actually. We are in the 27th manvantar. So in Agni Puran, in Vayu Puran, this has been confirmed, and also in Ramcharitmanas, that the original Ram appeared in the 6th kalp's 24th manvantar, and we are in the 6th kalp's 27th manvantar now. Okay? So this is the calculation, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And to follow on that question, Prabhu, so in each of the cycle, there's a different Manu, right?
Yeah, so one Manu rules for one manvantar. So in one day of Brahma, 14 Manus rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Abhishek Dodi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Am I audible properly?
Yeah, you are, Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, during the lecture, you were saying that we should inquire about the sampradaya and the disciplic succession before getting the ritual knowledge. But since the beginning, I mean, it must have happened with a lot of people also. We used to hear Ram Katha, Krishna Katha, Satyanarayan Katha. And sometimes the Panditji also says that wherever the Hari Katha is happening, you should sit down. And in Satyanarayan Katha, if you don't sit down, then you will be cursed or bad things will happen. So first question is Satyanarayan Katha is a real thing? And second thing, if it is real, then whoever Panditji or the knowledge person, scholar person who is giving it, if we start telling everybody and I start asking them, because some people take this as a profession and they now, so right now, I didn't know all those things since you mentioned this, that's why I'm asking this question. So this is the first question. And the second question which I have is the four sampradaya which you mentioned, was one of them was Sanat Kumar Sampradaya?
Yes.
So I'm sorry if I'm asking this question in a different way. So I was having the understanding that Sanat Kumar was the son, was a Manas Putra of Brahmaji.
Yes.
But the son and the father, they get the Bhagavad-gītā knowledge at the same time, as you mentioned those. So that's also true, right? So it's
that is also no. So understand it this way. Lord Brahma actually created everyone. Rudra is also son of Lord Brahma. Lakshmi Devi also comes, and then Sanat Kumar also comes from Lord Brahma. Right? So initially, but then Lord gives this knowledge individually to them. For instance, Shivji need not go to Brahmaji for getting the knowledge. Shivji is always in meditation of Lord Ramchandra, and he can directly get the knowledge from there. Right? And so are Sanat Kumar. So even today in the morning program, Chaitanya Prabhu told us how there was a disagreement between Sanat Kumar and Rudra and Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said there should be 4 Vedas, and Sanat Kumar said there should be 3 Vedas, and then the Sanat Kumar get to the understanding that no, there should be 4 Vedas. So even though they are father and son, but still there can be differences, not differences in opinion, but their own style. For instance, the 4 Kumaras are complete Naishtik Brahmachari. They are celibates. And then Lord Shiv is a Grihast. And then Lord Brahma is another entity. So the knowledge that goes through might have certain aspects of that. Understood?
Understand, Prabhu.
Yeah. And your first question about Satyanarayan Katha, Prabhu. So Satyanarayan Katha, I cannot comment because that is not in our culture. Like in ISKCON, it is not approved, Satyanarayan Katha. I've also heard it's mostly to do with the professional, but I cannot comment because I don't know whether it is part, it has to be part of the Shastra. That is why they do, but definitely I have never been to any Satyanarayan Katha. Neither I have seen any devotee doing any Satyanarayan Katha, because for us, if there is Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Bhagavatam, that is it. That comes through our sampradaya. And if someone says that you don't say it and you will get offense or sins, so Prabhuji, let's say, and if you should take the katha from anywhere and everywhere. So there are people, for instance, if you see the movie PK, okay, that was the name, right? PK, Amir Khan's movie. So in that movie also he's preaching, isn't it? He's preaching that Hindus are bad, Sanatan Dharmis are bad, and the Muslims are good, and other religions are good, whatever it is. So he's also preaching that. So should we take that as it is? If you say that we should study and hear from anyone and everyone who has absolutely no knowledge, why should we sit and take from him? And especially from the professional reciters, never hear a katha from someone who is posing themselves as professional. Because I'll tell you, in these pujas, even if it's, I will not comment specifically on Satyanarayan, but any puja you do, any puja. Remember, Havan puja. If the Purohit says that I will do this in 100 euros, 250 euros, or in Indian rupees, let's say 10,000, 11,000, that is not authentic. Because the system is of Dakshina, Prabhu, Dakshina. And Dakshina is up to you, how much capable you are of giving the Dakshina. Right? So that is why what happens is that these people, they are after money, they are greedy. And then the knowledge or the thing that you get out of that havan, that yajna, sacrifice of katha, that is not absolute. Because the intention was money and not bhakti. Right? So always keep that in mind. And I know the statement is very hard and it is very difficult to get such purohit. It's extremely rare. You would be absolutely lucky if you got an individual who would say that I will not charge, it's up to you how much you want to give me. If you are having such priest purohit, then you are really, you had your good karma from your past life. Okay, Prabhu?
So one follow-up question on this is
Yeah.
that, so now after having this understanding, we don't have to go on and preach people who are doing this thing. For example, in my family or in some other family, relative family, some Panditji or some scholar person has come and is preaching in whichever way they want. We don't have to question because it will.
We don't have to question directly. What I used to do was, I will not question, I would quote Shastra. Because even I faced the same thing when in my family there would be greedy priests and everyone. So I would not question them. I would just say, but this is what is written in Bhagavad-gītā. This is what is told by the Vaishnavas. So why is there a difference here? So I would have these kind of conversation with them. Of course, I would respect them. I would touch their feet because they are Pandit, they are Brahman. But then they would also come to know that this child knows things. We cannot fool this family anymore. Right? So don't be quiet. Have your own ways to pass on the message very humbly that I know, don't come and fool us anymore now. Okay? Yeah.
I have one more question, but I'll let others.
No, go ahead, Prabhuji. You can ask. Yeah.
My question is still from the second chapter, and but since the context is going in the fourth chapter, so if you allow, I ask now. Or
please go ahead. Yeah, you can ask. If it's a long answer, I will maybe take it later.
Yeah, it's probably as simple. I think in chapter 24, what it is mentioned that individual soul is eternal and it is an eternal atomic particle of the spirit whole. So I got confused. Initially, I was under this assumption, or this was my understanding, that soul is immutable, which it is, and then that's where things finishes. But now here in this mention that there is something which is above spirit, so above the soul, which is spirit whole. So So who's the main thing?
Krishna.
No. Krishna is there. But
Understand it this way, Prabhu. Understand it this way. There is a puzzle game board. Okay? And all the puzzle pieces are individual. And everyone contribute to a complete structure. And that spirit whole is Krishna. But now the catch is that in material world, 1 minus 1 is 0. 2 plus 3 is 5. This is our material calculation. But as per the spiritual calculation, Chaitanya Prabhu, if you are still here, do you know the first verse of Ishopanishad? Or anyone here knows the first verse of Ishopanishad? Om Purnamidam. Yes. Oh, you know?
Om Purnamidam Purnamidam.
Yeah.
No?
Purnamadasya.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is sufficient, yeah. So what it means is, it means that even if I have 100 euros and I give Abhishek Vedhi Prabhu 5 euros, so I will be left with 95 euros. But if Krishna has 100 euros and if he gives me 5 euros, he will still have 100 and I will have 5. Understood? So this is a difference, and that is why this is called inconceivable, achintya. This is beyond our understanding, that how is it possible? But that is possible because that is something spiritual and we are thinking everything from our material brains. Okay, Prabhu. So even though we are individual, yes, we are immutable, we are energies, we can neither be created, neither be destroyed, but still we are a part of something that is greater, and that is Krishna, the Supreme. The souls are part and parcels of the Supreme Soul. Okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, just so that I have understood the takeaway. So the soul is we and the spirit whole is Bhagavan Krishna.
Yes.
Understood. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare. Yes, Rishikesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Bol.
Prabhu, you have told in one of the lectures, in one of the previous lectures, including this one about manvantras, but also you told that you've said that there are multiple universes there are multiple universes as well, right?
Yes.
So I mean, like, are the multiple universes also like unlimited, or like?
Yes, it is also unlimited, Prabhu, but there is an estimation. So this is an estimation that this is 25% of the complete world. So 75%, 1/3 is this our world, and then 2/3, no, 75% actually, 1/4 is this world, and 3/4 is the spiritual world. So this is just an estimation, and that is roughly true. But yeah, again, it is unlimited, Prabhuji. We can never go, because there is a past time where Lord Brahma was supposed to see the Adi and Ant. When he was born, he did not know where this starts and where this ends. And it goes for thousands and thousands of years searching the root of this world and the beginning of this world, and he failed. He did not know. So this is, unlimited, even this material world. Okay?
So, Prabhu, does it mean that there are copies of our own thing?
No. It's not copies. Even if we don't know about that, Prabhu, maybe we'll have to study Manu Samhita. But no, if there were, then definitely someone would have told us. So I don't think there is a copy of us, because we only pass from body to body. So there is no question of copy. The thing that there are 7 people of the same faces and blah, 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 that is just some made up thing. Okay? There is no copies.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes, Abhishek Prabhu, do you have another question? Okay. So, yep. Any other question? Fine. So, no question. We'll meet tomorrow for our Bhagavatam class. Thanks for joining, everyone. Hare Krishna. Good night.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.